Breaking news for you, man. Coming up out of Yahoo, right? Yahoo News. Michigan police officer charged with murder for fatally shooting Patrick Lyoya in back of his head. Thank you, Rachel Shaw, for bringing us this story. This news actually just broke, and that was their brother right there. May he rest in peace. A Michigan police officer has been arrested and charged with the murder of Patrick Lyoya after shocking body cam footage showed him shooting the black man in the back of the head at point blank range as he was pinned face down on the ground. Christopher Schurr, a Grand Rapids police officer, was charged with one count of second-degree murder on Thursday. Kent County prosecutor Chris Becker announced at a press conference. So that's a good thing. He was charged, right? Mr. Schurr had surrendered to authorities earlier in the day and is being held at the Calhoun County Jail. He is expected to appear in court for his arraignment on Friday. Lyoya, a 26-year-old who had moved to the U.S. with his family from the Democratic Republic of Congo in 2014, was shot dead by the officer after being pulled over for a traffic stop back on April 4th. And I remember covering this story. You can go back and check it out. Graphic footage of his death, released back in April, shows a brief struggle between the two men before the officer pinned Lyoya down on the ground and fired one fatal shot to the head, killing him instantly. Excuse me. Now, I hope they don't get this officer a bond, man, because he don't deserve it. He deserved, and I know we all talk about he's innocent until proven guilty. Well, I don't know how you can be innocent of this when you're on tape killing the man. You know? The video sparked protests throughout the city of Grand Rapids, with the victim's grieving family describing their son's death as an execution. And that's exactly what it was. It was a public execution in broad daylight. Mr. Becker said that Lyoya's family had been told about the decision to bring charges against the officer prior to the press conference, after they have spent the last 2 months fighting for justice for their slain son. Prominent civil rights attorney Ben Crump, who is representing the Lyoya family, tweeted about the officer's arrest on Thursday afternoon. In April, Grand Rapids Police Department released several videos of the deadly arrest, showing Lyoya being pulled over in his car by the officers before a struggle breaks out, and the officer pins Lyoya to the ground and deploys his taser. The incident then ends with the officer firing one fatal shot in the back of his head. And as we see, there go that tweet from Ben Crump right there. The roughly 2.5 minute long footage includes clips from 4 different videos: the officer's police cruiser dashboard camera, the officer's body-worn camera, surveillance footage from a nearby home, and phone video captured by a person riding in a car with Lyoya. And can you imagine just how terrified they was? It begins with the officer pulling Lyoya over for a traffic stop at around 8 a.m. When he pulls over, Lyoya exits the vehicle. "Stay in the car, dude. I'm stopping you," the officer says. Patrick Lyoya runs from the officer before a struggle ensues. Body cam footage shows Lyoya appearing visibly confused. The officer asks for his driver's license and asks if he speaks English, to which Lyoya replies yes and asks what he has done wrong. He then turns to the door and speaks briefly to the passenger inside before closing the driver's side door and taking a few slow steps toward the front of the car. At that moment, the officer starts saying, No, stop, and put your hands behind your head," and grabs Lyoya by the arms. A struggle then breaks out with Lyoya pushing the officer away and running to the sidewalk. The officer tackles him to the ground, and the two men continue to struggle on the lawn, with the officer heard telling Lyoya to stop resisting. During the struggle, the officer fires his tasers twice at Lyoya, who then appears to grab the device from him. The body cam cuts off at that point, but cell phone video shows shot by the passenger in the car, captures what happens next. The officer is seen on top of Lyoya, pinning him face down on the ground while shouting, "Drop the taser" at him. Seconds later, the officer then pulls out his firearm and shoots Lyoya in the head at close range. His body goes limp. The struggle lasted around 90 seconds. No weapons besides the officer's gun and taser was found at the scene. Officer Schurr was placed on paid administrative leave following the shooting, and his name finally released to the public in the late April amid mounting pressure from the local community. The Michigan State Police launched an investigation into the incident. And there you have it, fam. That's a good thing. I'm happy for the brother's family. I hope he get convicted like Derek Chauvin. And it's good to finally see these crooked cops being held accountable for their wicked actions. Drop your comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to click on that notification bell. And I'll catch you on the next episode. Thanks for tuning in, and Shalom.